Hey, Weed Freak 976 here with the truth and a shave. Finally, I guess. It was getting a little too itchy for me. But, anyway. You know, there's two guys that I've really been meaning to do a video about. And these two are probably the main reason for our political system being the way it is. Two men. Charles and David Koch. And I've gotten requests from people to do a video about these two morons for months. Here's a fact. They own a lot of think tanks who publish distortion and lies. And I bet everybody's like, well, how do I fall for it? If you just watch, here's the perfect way to tell a bullshit lie. They repeat the same argument over. The same line. Raise the retirement age. Social Security's in the debt, which it's not. Now, here's some facts about David and Charles Koch. And here's why I hate capitalism. I hate it. Because before, I was just like a lot of... I want people to know something. I do these videos for... Really, I know I do them to inform other people. But you know what? I actually do them for the uninformed. They're like, why? They may not care. You need to care. You need to care because it's your country like it is my country. And if you want the inequality and suffering of others to stop, you got to get involved. No more sitting on the sidelines. No more not taking a stand. If you don't, it's your fault. Now, because that's what they want. They want David and Charles Koch and their ilk for you not to get involved. They want you to distrust everything you hear. That's why they deliberately lie. Because then when you hear one lie, you're like, well, how do I know what so-and-so says is true? Think about it. How many of you have heard something and said, well, how do I know it's accurate? How? Simple way. There are certain websites that do tell the truth. There are certain ones that take pride in fact-checking. Please. I'm going to also put up a list and see how many people, industries I can, that own websites and everything. I'm going to see how many I can get of the Koch brothers. Do not trust none of those sites. I'll get to them here in a minute. But first, about David and Charles Koch. David Koch owns a Palm Beach house. $37 million. $12 million in renovations. That's not all. Southampton home is yes, he had more than one home. $18 million. He now owns Jackie Kennedy's New York City apartment, $9.5 million. A New York City home, one purchased for $18 million. His Aspen home is $15 million. And David Koch pays $500,000 a week to charter a vacation yacht. I actually got this from the movie The Koch Brothers Exposed. I think you should check it out. It's on a DVD. And you'll get the information from there. Charles Koch has an Aspen house worth $7.9 million. The Koch brothers make $13 million a day. Now, how many of you out there are going to make $13 million in your lifetime? Let alone a day. If you're lucky, a lot of you make $30,000 a year. And say that in 30 years, you'll make over $900,000. And that's not including taxes. But you got to pay them. You got to put money back in the economy somehow. And you pay more than what they do. You want to be outraged by taxes? Be outraged by that. Tell them that they have to pay their fair share. And for sad, misguided fools like Super GOP Man and Athena's Conquest and Don't Tread on Me and these other people, you're ignorant. You think that you want to keep taxes low. All right, you can make an argument for low and middle income people because they do need as much of their money as possible. But for rich people, that's a bunch of bullshit. Nobody needs this kind of money. No one is worth this much, especially these assholes who all they've done is stock and bond and trade and sell oil and stuff. They don't actually work. They don't get their hands dirty. They don't save lives like doctors. They don't help people or help save lives like nurses, or train people like teachers, or protect people like police. And I know the police are messed up. I know that. But there are good police officers who do their duty and protect the citizens. They may be a minority, but still those men and women who do that should be rewarded. Just like there are teachers who abuse their power. I know that. And they don't teach their students well. But there are other teachers who do their job and they teach their students well. They make the leaders of tomorrow. Those people earn their money. The people who construction work and everything. The people who build roads, bridges. The postal worker. They earn their money. Hell, even the workers for the Koch brothers and them who actually do the drilling and stuff and they get their product made, they work for the money. But how much do you think they actually see of that? It's only the top board members and CEOs. Now, the Cato Institute, which they own, spent $28.4 million to create 297 commentaries, or write about 300 different papers and stuff, 56 studies, and wrote 6 books to distort Social Security. What's the distortion? That it's adding to the debt, which is complete horseshit because you pay into it. Payroll taxes. That funds Social Security, and it was at a $2.6 trillion. The $2.6 trillion has went down some because of borrowing from it for tax cuts for the rich, people like David and Charles Koch, and funding wars. The Koch brothers, now they love to spend money on campaigns. Why not? If you're going to get stuff like lowering taxes, you can sucker Obama and Bush into lowering taxes for you, then why not spend money to do it? They spent $875,000 in 2004. Everybody's like, wow, that's a lot of money. Listen to this. 2008, it was $20 million. Estimates, now it's not final, but estimates are showing that they're on pace to spend over $100 million this year. Where they could use that money to, and they could lower their, they get $50 billion, or they're worth $50 billion, and again, nobody needs that kind of money. They could use that money to give better pay for their workers, insurance, pay better taxes, so that way a woman that I know and lives in Minnesota wouldn't have to be in a homeless shelter, and her son and her daughters, they could have a house of their own or an apartment. They could live. The people in the video the Koch brothers exposed, the movie, one woman getting food stamps, an elderly lady, $16 a month, just plus Social Security. That is a bunch of horse shit. When these assholes haven't paid taxes, corporate taxes, income tax, they don't hardly pay nothing, and what taxes they do pay on some of the others are very little. Hell, the Koch brothers get a refund. These bastards do not need that much money. This is the reason I hate capitalism. If somebody, everybody's like, that's the great thing about America, that anyone can have a great idea. But nobody should be worth that much money, even I don't care how good of an idea you have. What about another person? What if they got a great idea, but they just didn't have the funds or the luck or knew the people that you did to get it done? Horseshit. The Koch brothers funded 300 think tank position papers to destroy Social Security. Now, these people get on TV and they deliberately lie. As I said in another video, if this were to happen in Australia or another country, these assholes would be in jail right now. But thanks to God bless good old America free market bullshit, they get to do it. The only kind of socialism that flies in this country is rich socialism, as the great Mike Radio Hogan said one time. They want socialism for the rich. Oh yeah. Distribute the wealth to the top 1% and to hell with everyone else. They don't want real socialism, which is about giving the money, the power and control to the workers. Letting them control the means of production. Letting them have a more equal distribution of the wealth, like in Norway and Sweden. They don't want that. Listen to some of these names who have said this line. And of course it's mostly on Fox, the terrorist news channel, that they spew this bullshit. The Marcus Center, Yoanique de Rugby, Cato Institute, Andrew Biggs, Jose Pinera, the Heritage Foundation, David Johns. If you hear these people get on television, they're lying sacks of shit. There's a reason why they're spewing this propaganda garbage. They're bought and paid for by the Koch brothers. What's the real agenda of the Koch brothers? I just mentioned it. To deregulate. Oops. To deregulate. So that way they can do whatever they want without having to answer to anybody. Break laws? Who cares? Mitt Romney foolishly said one time, and I'm done with Ron Paul, he's a loser, he's out of the way. It's Mitt Romney now, who is the guy who's going to be the Republican nominee. Let's face it, Santorum, you're over. Romney said corporations are people. Well, I say this, just like I said it before. If you want to treat corporations like people, their sorry ass should be in jail. Those son of a bitches should pay the price if they break the law. From Think Progress. The other one was notes I wrote down, so like I said, I'll put the video in there so that way you can watch it. I want to get the DVD, I'm going to get it myself, so that way I can watch the whole movie. But anyway, 30 major corporations paid no income taxes in the last 3 years while making $160 billion in profit. I heard of Don't Tread on Me and Antina Quest and all these dumbasses post comments on my videos going, the 40% didn't pay no taxes, income taxes. That's because they were in the poverty line. If they had paid taxes, they would have been out on the street. Just adding fuel to my old theory about you guys just want the poor and the sick, especially the ones with inherently, transmitted diseases, or excuse me, inherited diseases, to die, right? Go to hell. Anyway, by Pat Garofalo, November 3rd, 2011. One of the driving forces behind the ongoing Occupy Wall Street protests is the fact that corporations have not been paying their fair share in taxes. A new report from Citizens for Tax Justice will do nothing to alleviate the protesters' frustration. CTJ looked at 280 companies, all of them members of the Fortune 500, and found that while the federal corporate tax rate requires big corporations to pay a 35% corporate income tax, on average, the 280 corporations on the study paid only about half that amount. And those who paid even half the statutory corporate tax rate paid far more than many of their competitors. Meaning that when I hear Athena's conquest of them, I want a small business, I want a small business, I want a small business, I can't do it because I've got to regulate, that's not exactly what is causing small businesses and stuff not to succeed. Cost of healthcare. Number one reason why a lot of small businesses go under. They have to pay for their employees' health insurance, and it's skyrocketing. Number two, the average small business owner pays more in taxes than what the rich, these people do. These clowns. In fact, in the last 3 years, 78 corporations had at least 1 year where they paid no federal income tax at all, while 30 corporations paid not one dime over the entire 3 years. Those 30 corporations paid nothing, even though they made $160 billion in profits over that period. I dare anyone on the right to tell me that that's fair, while some single mother or single father has to work a job or maybe two to help provide for their family, and they have to pay taxes at a higher rate than what assholes like the Koch brothers pay for. Or what about the average man who works and has to provide, has a wife at home with some kids? Well, you know, because the wife is traditional. What about them? What if he's just barely getting by? You know, and his wife can't find a job. Maybe she wants a job, but she can't find one in this job market. Or maybe the jobs that are available just work too many hours, and she's more of a family woman. So while you're paying more taxes, these welfare bums are paying none. So tell me, who's a welfare bum? Somebody who gets like $100 or $200 worth of food stamps a month. Some people get $150, some get $200. Or these assholes who make $160 billion a year. So while somebody who gets $200 a month on food stamps, that adds up to the equivalent a year of $2,400 for that individual. These people are making billions by themselves, and you got stuck paying for it. You pay their taxes. And if you vote them in, the people who support them, your fault. I'm not saying you deserve to start or not. No. What I'm saying is, you deserve the policies that these jerks support. That's why I pointed out Ron Paul, because Ron Paul has taken money from Koch brothers owned industries like the John Birch Society and the Cato Institute. That's where he gets his oil money from. So, remember that. Obama, all of them. Romney especially. Romney's the worst of them, man. He gets the most money. The Koch brothers love that asshole. And everybody's like, don't curse. What do you want me to do? There are children dying. They can't get the health care they need because these lousy son of a bitches don't want to pay a damn cent in taxes because they think that they've earned it. Screw you, you didn't earn it. As a matter of fact, for all you ass-kissing Koch brother fans out there who love their Cato Institute and everything, they took money from Joseph Stalin and the Bolsheviks. Remember that. That's how these assholes got their money. 78 of the 280 companies paid 0 or less in federal income taxes in at least 1 year from 2008 to 2010. In the years they paid no income tax, these companies earned $156 billion in pre-tax U.S. profits. But instead of paying $55 billion in income taxes, as the 35% corporate tax rate seems to require, these companies generated so many excess tax breaks that they reported negative taxes, often receiving outright tax rebate checks from the U.S. Treasury, totaling $21.8 billion. These companies' negative tax rates mean that they made more after taxes than before taxes in those no-tax years. Did you get it now? 30 corporations paid less than nothing in aggregate federal income taxes over the entire 2008-2010 period. These companies whose pre-tax U.S. profits total $160 billion over the 3 years included Pepco Holdings, negative 57.6% tax rate. General Electric, 45.3%. DuPont, 3.4%. Verizon, 2.9%. Boeing, 1.8%. Wells Fargo, 1.4%. And Honeywell, 0.7%. Here's the whole list. Yep, I just mentioned Pepco. These were some of the top ones. Well, no, some of them. Pepco and General Electric, I named Picard, negative 30.5%. PG, Procter Gamble and Company, 21.5%. Computer Sciences, 18.3%. Nice Sources, 16.4%. Central Point Energy. You know what? I'll just name off the companies. Central Point Energy. I'll put the link below so you can read it. Tenet Healthcare. Yes, healthcare company. Atmos Energy. Integrates Energy Group. American Electric Power. Conway. Ryder Systems. Braxtor International. Wisconsin Energy. Duke Energy. DuPont. Consolidated Edison. Verizon Communications. Interpublic Group. CMS Energy. Nextra Energy. Nevistar International. Boeing. Wells Fargo. El Paso. Mattel. Honeywell International. DTE Energy and Corning. All of these people paid negative income tax. Negative. This is the real agenda of the Koch brothers. This is. All so they can say, I made that money, it's mine. No, it's not. You got a grant from the federal government to start your business. That's how it happens. Anybody who says that they got anything on their own is full of shit. They, you got it from a bank or something, which is more than likely either a private owned bank or a bank that works for the Fed, or a government bank. Either one of those two, which there's not that many government banks now. But maybe back then when you started your business 20, 30 years ago, and well, you know what, at least I'll give you this. You didn't get it from Joseph Stalin. The Koch brothers are out to destroy America. They're out to destroy education because they don't want you to think. They're out to destroy healthcare because to them it's social Darwinism. Survival of the fittest. If you can make it, fine. If you can't, die. And they're out to destroy Social Security. Because before Social Security was signed, millions of seniors were dying off. In their 40s, 50s, they didn't have a chance to enjoy their life. Franklin Roosevelt and the government said, no, that wasn't right. And they changed it. I know the government has done a lot of rotten things, and I want everybody out there to know this. If your government does something wrong, hold them accountable. But these assholes need to be held accountable too. You have to make sure to get educated. To not just sit there when you go on Facebook and say, oh, hi, how you doing, and what's up, and on YouTube or wherever you go, Twitter, whatever social network site you go to, and talk about movie. There's nothing wrong with culture. I like culture. I did a movie about art, a video about arts and stuff. But there's a time to put that on hold and get real. I do it too. I do. I want to have my fun. But then there are times when I go, you know what? It's time to really find out what's wrong with this country. What's wrong with this country is not gays getting married, single mothers, blacks, Latinos, whites, people who live in middle class, the poor, welfare bums. They're not the problem. Oh yeah, there are welfare bums, but they're not the people that you think of. Because those people that you're thinking of actually need that money. The real welfare bums, David and Charles Koch, General Electric, Petco, and the rest of these assholes. There's your welfare bums. They do nothing, they get money, and they get a tax break. Even people who draw food stamps and stuff, if they don't have a job, if they don't get unemployment or anything, or they don't have a job, they don't get a tax break. Or an income tax rebate. They do. Just think about that. The Koch brothers are destroying this country. That's the truth. Get educated, America.